So now we're going to try and solve a proportion. Occasionally you'll be given two ratios and the question might ask you to solve for each because one of them will have a variable in it. So let's say we have a simple one and we have 1 over a equals 3 over 21. And we want to make this a proportion. That means that when we do our cross product here, we should end up with something that is equivalent. So let's set that up. We're going to do our multiplication across that diagonal and our multiplication across this diagonal. And we end up with 3a from this diagonal this way equals 21 times 1, which is just 21. Well, now we have an algebraic equation that we just need to solve for a. So we have 3a equals 21. Since we have the 3a and we're trying to solve for a, we will divide this side by 3, divide this side by 3, and we end up with a equals 7. And therefore, this number here at the bottom of this fraction or this ratio would be 7. Let's just see if we can check that really quick. If we do 1 over 7 equal 3 over 21, okay, because this is going to be our check. Check here. Then we end up here doing our multiplication. We end up with 7 times 3 is 21, and 1 times 21 is 21, and we are in good shape that it is a proportion. So let's try another one, and we'll do 6 over r is equal to 3 over 10. So now we end up with our cross product multiplication here. We end up with 3r, because that's multiplying this diagonal this way, equals 60. So now we have our single step algebraic equation again. We will divide this side by 3, divide this side by 3, and we end up with r is equal to, 3 goes into 60, and we can solve this out to be 20 times, so r is equal to 20. Checking again, and we will end up with 6 times 10, which equals 60, and since we're going to put the 20 on the bottom of this where the r is, we end up with 20 times 3 equals 60, and so they check out. So let's do one more, and we'll do one more. We're going to do 3 over 9 equals x over 81. Again, what we'll end up doing is we'll end up saying, okay, we have 9x because we're doing our multiplication this way, and we're going to do our multiplication this way, so 9x equals 81 times 3. We end up with 9x equals 243. So now we have to determine to solve for x. So we'll divide both sides by 9, divide both sides by 9, and we end up with x is equal to, now when we do our division here, we get 9 goes into 9 once, 9 goes into 24 twice, that will give us 6 left over. So 9 goes into 63 here, and this becomes 7. So x will now equal 27. So the proportion becomes 3 over 9 is equal to 27 over 81. And we can easily do the check and say that 81 times 3 is equal to 243. And we can do 27 by 9 equals 243. And we have checked and verified how to solve this.